I am back. That was quick. Oh, back poster remains the same. Okay, let it be. Okay, so we were on the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, final chapter. The verses are breakdown in this way. First 12 verses are freedom from bondage through Karma Yoga. Krishna is continuing on the theme because he's summarizing this chapter. He's giving the synopsis of the entire Bhagavad Gita. The first section he covered in the Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 was Karma Yoga. Well, he spoke about various things like Karma Kanda also, and then he spoke about Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga is offering our results to Krishna without expecting any results for his pleasure. We'll offer our work to Krishna for his pleasure and without expecting any results. So that is Karma Yoga. So he's given some ways how one can become free from the bondage through Karma Yoga. And then when we do work, is it just that we are involved in the work or is there any other factor that is in? And this is the famous verse 18.14, I think, the verse number. 5 factors of action, which is Adhishtanam, Karta, like the place of action, which is the body, the worker itself, the soul, then the material nature, 3 modes of material nature, various types of endeavors that we take, and finally the super soul that has to sanction any work that has to happen. These are the 5 factors. So at no point we can claim that everything is done by me. There is so many things that are in force, in action, that are helping us achieve some, they are helping us to do anything, even good things or bad things. Even sometimes we can say that how is Krishna enabling the bad things from other people, by other people, like they do abominable things. How is Krishna enabling them? But material nature is also there, right? Krishna is not the only, he is the final witness, is Sakshi, and as well as Anumanta, he has to give the permission to do, which he does. But there are other factors also. And Krishna goes by the material nature that he himself created. How the material things are happening in the world, he abides by those rules. If someone has done some mistakes, then they will have to go through those process of reaping its reactions. So he has enabled this creation and he will also abide by the rules of the creation. So from that point of view, and also he leaves the independence, the minute independence to the living entity. Living entity has that minute independence and he will allow the living entity to choose their actions. So from that point of view, he will allow everything that is happening in whatever is the soul desires. Krishna's desire is also there, then it will happen. If not, Krishna will not allow it. So for everything, these are the 5 factors that are in play. That is a section we learned, 13 to 17. And how is that the modes that control all these activities and all beings? This chapter section we have already learned from the 14th chapter. Again, Krishna emphasizes the modes that control all the activities and all beings. So 18 to 40 is the biggest section. We are at that point, and 19th verse is when we have to cover. Okay. I will share again the screen with the database. So next week onwards, the Zoom will change. I'm going to post the new Zoom in our group as well as in the description. I thought I did this week, but I didn't. I'll do it for next week. 18.19. Jnanam karma cha karta cha tridaiva guna vedataha prochayate guna sankhyane yatacha shunuchanapi. Synonyms: jnanam, knowledge; karma, work; cha, also; karta, worker; cha, also; trida, of 3 kinds; eva, certainly; guna bedataha, in terms of different modes of material nature; prochate, are said; guna sankhyane, in terms of different modes; yatavat, as they are; shrunu, here; tani, all of them; api, also. Translation: according to the 3 different modes of material nature, there are 3 kinds of knowledge, action, and performer of action. Now hear of them from me. So the three modes of material nature, which we already know, and we already studied that the three material modes in where the faith also we learned, the austerities, worship we do, charities we perform, austerities we do, knowledge we gain, eating that we do. All these are there in the modes. The faith chapter we learned last chapter. Within that, the modes are active. For the faith is directed by the mode. My mode of goodness, I'm in the mode of goodness, so my faith becomes in the goodness, which is either in the Shastra or in the Devatas, rather than going to some humans who are godmans. They are not gods, but they act like godmen. And if I am in the mode of goodness, I won't go to such people. I'll go rather to the Devatas, which is still in mode of goodness. Beyond that is Krishna consciousness. But if I'm in the mode of goodness, I want to practice and abide by the Shastras, that is my mode. So the modes are very active in each and everything that we do. In the faiths that we follow, like I discussed, like faith, austerity, worship, eating, knowledge that we have gained. So Krishna again bringing those topics back. Now, according to three modes of material nature, there are three kinds of knowledge, action, and performer of action. Now, hear of them from me. The three kinds of knowledge that we gain: goodness, passion, ignorant knowledge; the actions that we do in goodness, passion, ignorance; and the performer of action, the person who is in that mode, either is in goodness, passion, or in ignorance. So he is again talking. In the 14th chapter, the three divisions of the modes of material nature were elaborately described. In that chapter, it was said that the modes of goodness is illuminating, the mode of passion, materialistic, and the mode of ignorance, conducive to laziness and indolence. All the modes of material nature are binding. They are not sources of liberation. Even in the mode of goodness, one is conditioned. In the 17th chapter, the different types of worship by different types of men in different modes of material nature were described. In this verse, the Lord says that he wishes to speak about the different types of knowledge, workers, and work itself according to the three material modes. So, yeah, bringing the points from the 14th chapter and 17th chapter, different people in different modes, how they worship and all is given. Now, Krishna is going to speak about the knowledge, worker, himself, and the work that he does in the three modes. Okay. Bharati Mataji, please read.
18.20 सर्वभूतेषु येनैकं भावम् अव्ययम् ईक्षते अविभक्तं विभक्तेषु तज्ज्ञानं विद्धि सात्विकम्. Synonyms: Sarva Bhuteshu, in all living entities; Yena, by which; Ekam, one; Bhavam, situation; Avyayam, imperishable; Ikshate, one sees; Avibhaktam, undivided; Vibhakteshu, in the numberless divided; Tat, that; Jnanam, knowledge; Vidhi, know; Satvikam, in the mode of goodness. Translation: the knowledge by which one undivided spiritual nature is seen in all living entities, though they are divided into innumerable forms, you should understand to be in the mode of goodness. Purport: a person who sees one spirit soul in every living being, whether a demigod, human being, animal, bird, beast, aquatic, or plant, possesses knowledge in the mode of goodness. In all living entities, one spirit soul is there, although they have different bodies in terms of their previous work. As described in the 7th chapter, the manifestation of the living force in everybody is due to the superior nature of the Supreme Lord. Thus, to see that one superior nature, that living force in everybody, is to see in the mode of goodness. That living energy is imperishable, although the bodies are perishable. Differences are perceived in terms of the body because there are many forms of material existence in conditioned life. The living force appears to be divided. Such impersonal knowledge is an aspect of self-realization. Hare Krishna.
Such impersonal knowledge is accepted. spirits. Okay. Okay. Now, this verse is speaking about the soul, presence of the soul in all the living entity, in all the living beings, entities. And though they are divided into innumerable, the living entity, the soul, spirit soul is the same, whereas the material body takes different forms. This is the verse from 5th chapter also, from the 7th chapter also, where Krishna says in the 5th chapter, what is that verse that he says? Brahma both, no, not that verse. Not, Sunichaiva Swapakyacha Pandita Samadarshina. What is the beginning of that? 518, I think. Someone wants to quickly pull that? Yeah.
518 is
Vidya
Vidya
Vinaya
Vinaya
Sampanne
Sampanne Brahmanikavi Hastini Shuni Chaiva Swapakate Cha Pandita Samadarshina.
Samadarshina. That is, a humble sage by virtue of true knowledge sees with equal vision a learned, a gentle Brahmana, a cow, and an elephant, and a dog and dog eater. So the Brahmana, which is who is in the mode of goodness, that point is repeated here. The same thing. The knowledge by which undivided spirit nature is seen in all living entities, though they are divided into innumerable forms, you should know is in the mode of goodness. This is a humble sage who sees a dog, with the true knowledge, he sees everyone with equal vision. A Brahmana also he sees with the same vision, a gentle, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog eater. He sees everyone with the same vision. A Brahmana, a dog, dog eater, cow, and an elephant. So that is that verse. So when we can practice that, the presence of spirit, which is equal in all living entities, even though our externals look very different from human to human, human to animal, animal to animal. So they're very different. But if we can learn to see the spirit, which is same, because today the living animal is in that spirit is in the animal's body. In the next life, that animal may become a human being. So because that is the nature of the spirit, right? It can take different human external forms based on the nature of the work that they do. So if we can learn to see this presence of spirit soul, which is uniform across all the living entities, that is the vision we can aspire to, and that is mode of goodness. So that's something that we should all cultivate. Like we should look through the externals in the people that we see around. Look through the externals. Although we see the externals, but look beyond that, that the spirit presence of the spirit soul, which makes all the common denominator for all of us. All of us are the common denominator, which is a spirit soul. On the numerator, we can have a human body, an animal body, a female body, a male body, child body, and so on. So that is something that we can develop. And when we see such vision, when we develop such vision, we see through the Shastric vision. So Shastra, there is something like Shastra Chakshu. What does it mean? Look through the vision of the scriptures, developing a sight that goes through the vision of the scripture. The vision of the scripture says this, that you go beyond the externals, go to the spirit soul and see that it is spark, the living entity. In the 7th chapter also Krishna says, I am the spirit soul, I am that spark that exists in all living entities. Forgetting the verse for that, but he says that I am balam balavata chaham kamaraga vivarjita dharma. That is about the strength, divide of all the passion. But he says, I am the spirit that is existing in all living entities. And that living force in all bodies. So if we can learn to see that, then we will not have so many differences also. We can overcome such external differences like my countrymen, it starts there. My countrymen, then it comes to my statement, then comes to my language, then comes to my society in which I lived, then comes to, various things like my neighbor and so on. So we look beyond those things. If we look at the souls inside the bodies, we should develop that vision, which is in the mode of goodness. The point is we should exceed this. We should go beyond that. We are all servants of Krishna. That's the point we should reach. But at least start there with the mode of goodness, that look everyone as a spirit soul. Okay, next is the passion, I guess. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yes, bro.
Mataji, can you expand the last line of the verse number 20? Such impersonal knowledge is an aspect of self-realization.
Yeah, I was also like looking into that. Living entity and energy is imperishable out of bodies. Differences are perceived in terms of body because there are many forms of material existence. The living force appears to be such impersonal knowledge is an aspect. I think why Prabhupada added this, I also like was looking at this statement, how to go with that statement. But looks like it is, this knowledge is even impersonal is.
Okay, so there are three aspects, Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagwan. So this aspect belongs to the second, that is Paramatma realization. So in that way, you can say it is the aspect of self.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Okay.
because it's a partial understanding only. It's not Paramatma understanding.
Okay.
Sorry, it's not Bhagavan understanding, it's Paramatma. So
Yeah.
for the benefit of all, we have three aspects of knowledge, which is Brahman,
Paramatma and Bhagwan.
Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Brahman is the impersonal conception of life, where the Brahma Jyoti aspect. So that's a very, very initial understanding, which the practitioners of this impersonal school people, they will practice that we are all spirits, we both have the same spirit, like, that is the knowledge they have. They don't go beyond it. There is no service, there is no exchange of rasa or exchange of feeling for them. So it's a very partial. So that's the beginning of the self-realization. You at least go there, so that it's starting of the self-realization. Such impersonal knowledge is an aspect. It's one of the aspects of self-realization also, but our self-realization goes all the way up to Bhagavan realization. Once we realize Bhagavan, then that's a complete understanding. So from that point of view, right, Prabhu? Is that?
Yeah, that's right, Mataji. Actually, I was confused, and after asking the question, it came to me. Okay, it's by talking about Paramatma realization.
Yeah. So 21. Did you read, Vanati Mataji?
Yeah, Mataji, I just read that
Okay.
20.
Gauri Mataji, would you like to read?
Verse 21. Prithakvena tu yajnanam nanabhavan prithakvidan vetti sarveshu bhuteshu tajnanam viddhi rajasam. Prithakvena, because of division. Tu, but. Yat, which. Jnanam, knowledge. Nana bhavan, multifarious situations. Prithak vidhan, different. Veti, knows. Sarveshu, in all. Bhuteshu, living entities. Tat, that. Jnanam, knowledge. Viddhi, must be known. Rajasam, in terms of passion. Translation. That knowledge by which one sees that in every different body there is a different type of living entity, you should understand to be in the mode of passion. Purport. The concept of the material body is the living entity, and that with the destruction of the body, the consciousness is also destroyed, is called knowledge in the mode of passion. According to that knowledge, bodies differ from one another because of the development of different types of consciousness. Otherwise, there is no separate soul which manifests consciousness. The body is itself the soul, and there is no separate soul beyond the body. According to such knowledge, consciousness is temporary, or else there are no individual souls, but there is an all-pervading soul which is full of knowledge, and this body is a manifestation of temporary ignorance. Or beyond this body, there is no special individual or supreme soul. All such conceptions are considered products of the mode of passion.
Yeah. The passion is there is this body, beyond this body there is no special individual or super soul, supreme soul. So they won't even recognize the presence of the super soul. Looks like such a conception is in a mode of passion. I don't know why. What I wonder what is ignorance. We'll see next verse. So the concept of the material body and the living entity, and that with the destruction of the body, the consciousness is also destroyed, is called knowledge. So we are only until this, enjoy as much as you can, because this is the only life you have. So just make best use of what you have. So just enjoy. So that, because we don't foresee beyond that. When we are in that consciousness, then that is mode of passion. So we are in always trying to make this moment better for us. Just enjoy it, because this is what we have. This body is all we have, and next body, we don't have anything else beyond this. So that's the understanding. And that's mode of passion. This body is itself the soul, and there is no separate soul beyond the body. According to such knowledge, consciousness is temporal. So that's the understanding for the passion. Ignorance, let's see. Sneha Mataji?
Yes, Mataji. Text 22. Yattu कृत्स्नावद् एकस्मिन् कार्ये सक्तम् अहैतुकम् अतात्वार्थावाद् अल्पं च तत्तमसम् उदाहृतम्. Synonym: yat, that which, to, but, kritsnavat, as all in all, ekasmin, in one, karye, work, saktam, attached, ahaitukam, without cause, atatva arthavat, without knowledge of the reality, alpam, very meager, cha, and, tat, that, tamasam, in the mode of darkness, udhritam, is said to be. Translation. And that knowledge by which one is attached to one kind of work as the all in all, without knowledge of the truth, and which is very meager, is said to be in the mode of darkness. Purport. The knowledge of the common man is always in the mode of darkness or ignorance, because every living entity in conditional life is born into the mode of ignorance. One who does not develop knowledge through the authorities or scriptural injunctions has knowledge that is limited to the body. He is not concerned about acting in terms of the directions of scriptures. For him, God is money, and knowledge means the satisfaction of bodily demands. Such knowledge has no connection with the absolute truth. It is more or less like the knowledge of the ordinary animals, the knowledge of eating, sleeping, defending, and mating. Such knowledge is described here as the product of the mode of darkness. In other words, knowledge concerning the spirit soul beyond this body is called the knowledge in the mode of goodness. Knowledge producing many theories and doctrines by dint of mundane logic and mental speculation is the product of mode of passion, and knowledge concerned only with keeping the body comfortable is said to be in the mode of ignorance.
Okay. So Prabhupada is again clarifying the mode of goodness, how it works, passion and ignorance, knowledge in these modes. In the last verse, he said it was beyond, nothing beyond this body. But again, he had added this point here. In the goodness, it is all about presence of the soul, super soul within the body, that is goodness. And producing different kinds of doctrines and theories, like coming up with your own philosophies, and coming up with your own principles, which are not shastric, which are not rooted in any shastra, just some mundane logic. That is passion. All the scientific theories that whatever we humans are coming up with, that is all passion. And any knowledge that is only concerned with the body, only keeping the body and together for this life, that is ignorance. That is just animalistic life. Because animals, they don't have any other, they don't have a theory to save for the future, or for the future they have nothing. They just live in the moment. If they get food, they eat, and then they sleep, and they mate, and they defend. That's it. So if humans are also doing the same thing, then that is in the mode of ignorance. That knowledge which keeps them in that consciousness is in ignorance. Clear? Those are the three modes in which knowledge is acquired. Now is going to talk about the action in the three modes. Amrita Ganga Mataji?
Yes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji. Text 23. Niyatam sangarahitam aragya devastakritam afala prepsuna karma yat tat satvikam uchyate. Niyatam, regulated. Sanga rahitam, without attachment. Aragya devastaha, without love or hatred. Kritam, done. Afla prepsuna, by one without desire for fruitive result. Karma, action. Yat, which. Tat, that. Satvikam, in the mode of goodness. Uchyate is called. That action which is regulated and which is performed without attachment, without love or hatred, and without desire for fruitive results is said to be in the mode of goodness. Purport. Regulated occupational duties, as prescribed in the scriptures, in the terms of different orders or divisions of society, performed without attachment or proprietary rights, and therefore without any love or hatred, and performed in Krishna consciousness for the satisfaction of the Supreme, without self-realization or self-gratification, are called actions in the mode of goodness.
So Prabhupada has added the Krishna conscious activities as the mode of goodness, which are related to occupational duties, our occupational duties as prescribed in the Shastras. We may think occupational duties is going to work, that is my occupation. That also is occupation, but that is materialistic. Whatever are described in the Shastra as the prescribed duties for the humankind, that is our regulated occupational duties. So, and if we follow those, Shastra says, understand your nature, you are part and parcel of the Supreme Whole. That is a Shastric knowledge, right? If we can understand that and act according to that, then that is where we are situated. Our work becomes in the mode of goodness. And what else has to be added to that? Without attachment. The work that we are doing should be without attachment, for either with love or with hatred. Like love meaning I'm not totally attached to it. Like if I don't do this, then my day won't pass. And I hate it so much, I don't want to do it. So that is extremes. One is without, if we can be neutral in doing that work, not without love or hatred. Like too much attachment or too much detachment is not good. That's all it says. And without desire for fruitive results, it's said to be in the mode of goodness. Not expecting anything out of it. We have seen this point repeatedly many times in the 17th chapter also. The action that which is performed, to be performed for the sake of, as a duty, as a matter of fact, as a duty, without having any attachment to the work as well as its outcome. That is in the mode of goodness. And adding more, and adding another layer to it is to doing work in Krishna consciousness for the satisfaction of the Supreme. Without self-satisfaction or self-gratification. Nothing for me, everything for Krishna. If we can do in that mode, that is in the mode of goodness. Actions. So it's elaborating on that. Now passion, Prabhupada will speak, Krishna will speak, nothing much. Prabhu.
Okay, Mataji. Text 24. Yattu kame pusuna karma sahankarena va punha kriyate bahula yasam tadrajasam udaharatam. Yat, that which, tu, but, kame pusuna, by one who desires for fruitive results, karma, work, sa ahankarena with ego, va or punha again, kriyate is performed, bahula ayasam with great labor, tat that rajasam is in the mode of passion, udharatam is said to be. But action performed with great effort by one seeking to gratify his desires and enacted from a sense of false ego is called action in mode of passion.
Please elaborate on this point, Prabhu.
See, when we are performing something to gratify our own senses, our own desires, and we are having our own ego to perform that action. It is not for, having any, it is with a selfish motive we are doing it. That is in the mode of passion. See, in case we are doing something for Krishna, that will be in the mode of bhakti, you can say. But in case we are doing something without attachment to those results, then it will be in the mode of goodness. So here, for our own satisfaction, for our own desires, we are doing something that will be in the mode of passion.
Yeah. We want to perform to gratify our desires that
Desires.
I can achieve. I want to, I can do this. Just to show off that what we can achieve. If we do work, then that is in the mode of passion.
Yes, ma'am.
Amona Prabhu, you want to read the next one?
Yes, bro. Yes, Mataji. Anubandham kshayam himsam anapekshya cha paurusham mohad arabhyate karma yattat tamasam uchyate. Anubandham of future bondage, kshayam destruction, himsam and distress to others, anapekshya without considering the consequences, cha also, paurusham self-sanctioned, mohat by illusion, arabhyate is begun, karma work, yat which, tat that, tamasam in the mode of ignorance, uchyate is said to be. That action performed in illusion, in disregard of scriptural injunction, and without concern for future bondage or the violence or for violence or distress caused to others is said to be in the mode of ignorance. Purport: one has to give account of one's action to the state or to the agents of the Supreme Lord, called the Yamdutas. Irresponsible work is destructive because it destroys the regulative principle of scriptural injunction. It often based on violence and is distressing to the other living entities. Such irresponsible work is carried out in the light of one's personal experience. This is called as illusion. And all such illusory work is a product of the mode of ignorance.
Okay, Prabhu, please expand.
Okay, so I was thinking, let's see all these three verses as a spectrum. The one in the mode of goodness, the action in the mode of goodness is the left side, and the action in the mode of ignorance is the right side. So the left side is like all the actions which he performed without attachment, uh, without love or hatred, without desire for fruitive result. That is the left spectrum, and the right spectrum is everything you do is like on your whimsical ways. There is no scriptural injection to this. Why do you do? What do you do? Nothing is based on scriptures. It is all based upon my own whims. That is the first thing. And if you say the middle part over here, that is also based on our own whims, because we are more performing those actions based upon our own desires, our own sense gratification. But over here, the right hand side spectrum is like the main differentiation between the mode of passion and mode of ignorance is over here is that this is called for violence or distress caused to others. This is the differentiating part between the action in the mode of passion and action in the mode of ignorance. Both is you can say both are backed up by the our own selfish desires. But in the mode of ignorance, that selfish desire, the action in the with the selfish desires, that is harming others, that is creating violence against others, that is giving distress to others. So that is the problem. In mode of passion, it is all based upon my sense gratification, but there is no distress or violence caused to other. And on the left hand side, we have regulated occupational duties. That is our duties based upon our varna and ashram. So That's how I saw all the three verses.
Yes. Yeah, nicely given with that spectrum analogy. Right. So ignorance is when you are causing violence on other living entities, distress. Violence definition is also proper described many places. Not giving the people the opportunity to perform Krishna consciousness is a violence in Prabhupada's explanations in the purports. So that is also something that if we don't give someone the opportunity, that is also in mode of ignorance, at least to our dependents. Next is Mukta Sango Naham Vadi Driti Utsaha Samanvitaha Siddhi Asiddhayo Nirvikaraha Karta Satvika Uchate. Synonyms: Mukta Sangha, liberated from all material association. Anaham Vadi, without false ego. Driti, with determination. Utsaha, with and great enthusiasm. Samanvitaha, qualified. Siddhi, in perfection. Asiddhayo, and failure. Nirvikaraha, without change. Karta, worker. Satvikaha, in a mode of goodness. Uchate, is to be said. Is said to be. Translation: one who performs his duty without association with the modes of material nature, without false ego, with great determination and enthusiasm, and without wavering in success or failure, is said to be a worker in the mode of goodness. Purport. A person in Krishna consciousness is always transcendental to the modes, material modes of nature. He has no expectations for the results of the work entrusted to him. Because he is above false ego and pride, still he is always enthusiastic till the completion of such work. He does not worry about the distress undertaken. He is always enthusiastic. He does not care for success or failure. He is equal in both distress and happiness. Such a worker is situated in the mode of goodness. So this is the work that is done. We spoke about the action. So this is the worker. The three things that Krishna spoke: knowledge, action, and the action doer, which is the actor. So the person in Krishna consciousness is always transcendental to the material modes of nature. He has no expectations for the results of the work entrusted to him. He has no false ego. He has no false pride. He does not aspire for a particular service. Whatever service is entrusted to him, he does it with his full enthusiasm until it is completed, and not aspiring for any recognition or benefit out of that work. And if the work is taken away, he doesn't feel bad. It does not worry. It does not, and such a person is in the mode of such a tough thing, right? He does not care for success or failure. He's equal both in distress and happiness. Such a worker is situated in the mode of goodness. This is the worker. This is hard for us, right? Enthusiasm, determination may be fine. We can try without, but a wavering with unwavering in success or failure, that is a hard. We do get affected, right? When we get a success, we feel happy. When we are not successful, then we become sad. So that is something that we have to, this is in the mode of goodness. When we cannot, when we can practice not being affected, that is in the mode of goodness. That's the hard part. Anyone has any reflections on this point?
Mataji, I just remembered when we used to do gym training at that time for whatever the muscle building or weight loss or whatever it is. So irrespective of the weight is getting reduced or muscles are building, we were forced to do the gymming because that was the discipline we used to follow. Doesn't matter whether your weight is reducing or not, whether muscle is building or not, whether you have pain in the body or not. You have to just follow whatever the daily discipline routine was there. So now if I reflect, I feel that is what when it's happiness or distress, whatever the situation may be, you're just following the discipline. Whether today you are feeling good or not, you have to chant. Tomorrow, whatever is the situation, you have to continue chanting. So that is the discipline we have to follow.
Anyone has any challenges in applying this? Determination, enthusiasm, success, failure, without ego, that I am not the doer. Anyone wants to share anything else? No one?
Mataji, like sometimes we feel like, oh, I am doing everything right. Like, why does still wrong things happen to me? So, like that sometimes is discouraging. So then, uh, then sometimes you'll feel like, oh, what's the point of doing everything? Even though I'm doing everything, then it's not working out. Like that happens with me. So just wanted to share.
Okay. Yeah, it
Like,
happens. It's a lot of. Yes, you wanted to say something else?
like for me, I don't know, it's funny, but my chanting, if like if Nandini is not well, something like that, that day I'll chant very sincerely because I want like Krishna to hear my prayers. But like the other days, I'm just like, okay, I have to do this. Like it's like that. So that's something I notice about me. Like,
Hmm. Okay. That's yeah, thanks for sharing that very candidly. Um, so what can we do? That is the case. How can we overcome? Any other challenges, anyone? Or anything that we are not able to apply this particular item? Success and failure. Anyone has any? Yeah, when we get a recognition for our work, we want to do more and satisfy. For example, in the workplace, we want to satisfy our boss by doing more. But when we don't get recognized to do recognition in the work, do we carry the same enthusiasm to do the work? That is still in the materialistic point of view. But when we apply that in the Krishna consciousness, like basically services, we get attached to our services that we do. And we want to be recognized in those services also. We want people to recognize, okay, I have done this service. And we can, and then when we don't, if we get removed of that service because some service has been taken away and given it to someone, then we feel bad for that. So this is Krishna conscious related stuff. But if we can overcome such things, continue to do, keeping Krishna in the center, that this is only for his pleasure, not for mine. And then we become very fruitive. We want something, like I've seen some people, like when there is exam, they might chant more attentively. There is a impending danger, chanting more attentively. Otherwise, lackluster. Everything is going normal. Then there is no impetus. There's no inspiration to chant. So there are different scenarios people go through. So that steadiness is important. That is called steady, nishta. Nishta is steadiness, right? That's the next level that we have to achieve. Yeah, a lot of impurities in the heart, attachments, waverings. Those are the ones that are the reasons for such. We can continue the process. The process itself is purifying. No matter we have all these attachments, no matter what, we just have to continue with the process because for process of Krishna consciousness is like purifying. When we go into the shower, soon we'll come out of the shower clean, right? So we are in the process of shower. So we should not think that, okay, I'm so dirty. I'm so dirty. What's the point of thinking when you're already in shower? You're dirty, that's why you're taking shower. Soon you will come out of the shower clean. So the process is important. So we'll continue to do the process. Taking shower, continue to do that instead of thinking, okay, lamenting that I'm dirty. So the process is very important. We have to continue the process. Yeah, because the process is also the goal as well as the process. This journey as well as the goal. The process of Krishna consciousness, because we are still in practice, we don't know how it looks when it is perfected. So for us, it looks like the process and the goal is same. Yes, in general also it is same. Process and the goal is same. We will do Krishna consciousness bhakti in the practice stage as well as in the perfected stage. We don't know how it looks like in the perfected stage, but we have to continue to do that in the practice stage. That is the only way for us to get to the other side.
Mataji, Veena Mataji didn't get to read. I think
Oh, she's here?
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
I joined late, sorry.
Okay. I thought of stopping here, but you can read Mataji, 27. You want to read 27?
Okay, sure, Mataji. Thank you. Ragi karma phala praspur labdo him satmagos shuchihi harsha shoganvidaha karta rajasah parikrititaha. Synonym: Ragi, very much attached; karma phala, the fruit of the work; prapsa, desiring; labdaha, greedy; himsa, himsatmagaha, always envious; ashuchihi, unclean; harsha shoka anvitaha, subject to joy and sorrow; karta, such a worker; rajasaha, in the mode of passion; parikirtitaha, is declared. Translation: the worker who is attached to work and the fruits of the work, desiring to enjoy those fruits, and who is greedy, always envious, impure, and moved by joy and sorrow, is said to be in the mode of passion. A person is too much attached to a certain kind of work or to the result because he has too much attachment for the materialism or hearth and home, wife and children. Such a person has no desire for higher elevation in life. He is simply concerned with making this world as materially comfortable as possible. He is generally very greedy and he thinks that anything attained by him is permanent and never to be lost. Such a person is envious of others and prepared to do anything wrong for sense gratification. Therefore, such a person is unclean and he does not care whether his earning is pure or impure. He is very happy if his work is successful and very much distressed when his work is not successful. Such is the worker in the mode of passion. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. These are all the Kali Yuga symptoms that we also experience, and we see this around us a lot. In the workplace, you can experience this a lot. The person is envious of others because he wants to be in the top, but if others are making it, then he becomes envious, and he doesn't go back in doing anything wrong for sense gratification. He wants to make his life as comfortable as possible. There is nothing about Krishna consciousness. Just wake up in the morning, get a coffee, then drive to work, just work, show off, talk to people, and then keep working, and then come home, enjoy the evening with the family, and then rest. Then repeat the same thing. So this is in the mode of passion. And they become very envious of the other person because they want to be on the top, but other people are making it, then they very unclean. Unclean meaning their consciousness is impure. Does not care whether he's earning purely or by doing some gamble or get to the top. These days, in the workplace, we see a lot of AI thing that coming up, right? They want to replace the humans by the AI. Who some top guy wants to show off and make it big so that he gets a bigger package, and he wants to impress. And also impress and show to the organization that he has made so much of savings by replacing so many humans. So this is all passionate, in the mode of passion. I'm sure you all have your own experiences about this kind of what I'm telling. Yeah, so we can pause here. If anyone has have any questions or anyone wants to share anything.
Mataji, I just had one question because we're talking about enjoy, right? So, like generally in the workplace, also when we talk to others, we say like enjoy your evening, enjoy your weekend. Should we refrain from talking to people in that way? I mean, we only try to reciprocate, but should we stay away from talking that way, or even to our family members sometimes?
No, we should not refrain from such talk, because that talk is being in a, what would you say? We have to reciprocate, right, to them. What do you say otherwise? Be Krishna
Yeah.
conscious.
So
When you say be Krishna, they might not understand. So
right.
also we have to be a part of the world, not of the world. That is something that we have to internally inculcate.
Correct. Yeah.
But when we are with the people, we have to we know what we want, what we mean by it, but they will not understand it, right? When you say any other thing other than what they can understand. So just being nice is better than being otherwise. But Krishna consciousness is mostly internal thing. Externally, if we start projecting on people, it might become fanaticism, sentimentalism. People who know you, they'll say sentimentalist. People who don't know you, they say you're fanaticist. So we should not go to any of those extremes. We should just be the way we are, as much as possible, be good and practice internal. After all, it is you and Krishna, between you and Krishna, not between them, and each one has their own relationship, right? So, yeah.
Right.
So I would say.
Mataji, I have one more question regarding that, as you mentioned about workplace and
Yeah.
so in workplace we like when we do the work and everything, right? So usually when we get like we usually have like year-end reviews and we have like promotion, all those things related to the workplace. So in that side, like in workplace there is this rule, like everyone say, right, especially here, we will have you will need the visibility, so that you have to show, you should not just work, you have to work and act smart, like not work hard. We have to let everyone know. So then how this visibility in workplace, they say like you have to let everyone know that you are doing this, so that then only you'll get that visibility. So how that contradict here? Because that then only like in work, even the managers will say that, right? Like for even to so that everyone to recognize as well.
See, the workplace is defined by certain rules, right?
Mm.
Your nature is there. If you are becoming Krishna conscious person, you are developing this nature. Workplace has certain rules. It is defined by certain rules which are defined by the results, not by the efforts. Krishna consciousness is driven by the effort, not by the result. So that is why this material world is a upside reflection of the spiritual one. So when we are practicing Krishna consciousness, it's moving towards a spiritual world. Whereas the material world, everything has to be shown. Results have to be shown. Otherwise, no one recognizes your efforts. What results have you done is what they see. So when we are in the Rome, we have to act like a Roman, right? We have to practice the principles. Internally, like I just said, in Krishna consciousness is an internal process. If we start putting our internal process in the workplace, do it as a work. Just take that entity and whatever is required for you to do work, you have to do. Show results, show off your work as that entity, that work. This is the work that I'm doing it for the sake of work. Your 9 to 5 job is done. completely done with that mode of thinking, talking, and everything. Become internally oriented. So this is a practice. It's a practice we need to keep on practicing. This navigating to this process, it has to be practiced. At workplace, you need to take that as work and do whatever is required. Is because that's a rule they have given you, right? This is what you have to do. You need to abide by that rule. If not, then you're not abiding by that rule. That's called compliance. Then in compliance, what do they say? You do these things, then your check mark is there. Then that you're complying. If not, then you're not complying. So whatever is requires for you to comply, that you have to do in workplace. Because the rules are different there. When you come to Krishna, the rule is different. All it matters is your effort, not the results.
Okay, thank you, Mataji.
Is that
So,
clear?
Mataji, can I add few things?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's basically everything is Desh Kal Patra. So wherever we are, we have to abide the rules of that particular place. So it's like over here we are doing left hand drive. When we go to India, we go do right hand drive. So that is the rule of that particular place. We have to follow it. So now we are why we are doing a job. It is for the pleasure of for pleasure of Krishna. Like when you go to a job, you get a salary, and that salary is used to maintain your family, to practice your devotional service, and to maintain the temple as a grahastha. So the entire purpose of going to job is not for a personal gratification. It is for pleasure of Krishna. So that intention is counted by the Lord. He is not checking if Arjun is fighting. Krishna is not chanting whether he's chanting 108, whether he's chanting 16 rounds or not. Krishna only sees what is the intention of whatever action he's performing. He is asking him to fight, and that intention is to please the Lord, for the pleasure of the Lord, because he has said that's why you have to fight. That intention is Arjun's intention is checked, not the Arjun's action, what he is doing. So over here, when we have a job, our intention is always matters. How we are over there, like in devotional, I mean, in devotee circle, we try to be humble, and in office, we try to boast ourselves, because that's how we sell ourselves, and that's how we are going to get promotion. That's why we are going to get salary. So all things which we do in the office is to get that salary, so that we are able to serve Krishna better. There is no other reason of working. So the intention is always matters, not the action.
Okay, got it. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
But Krishna is Bhavagarhi Janardana. He only looks at the intentions, not the actions. I mean, he does. Whichever is the best he takes. That's not the case in the otherwise. Okay, being good conversation. We will continue from text 28. Right? Yeah. Thank you very much, everyone.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Jai Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.